5 ways to break your weight loss plateaus. 1. Recalculate your daily caloric target. Your digestion eases back down as you get thinner on the grounds that your body doesn't have to apply as much vitality to keep up its now slimmer physical makeup. On the off chance that you don't modify your calories to represent this, you may hit a level. The easy method to maintain a strategic distance from this is to recompute your day-by-day caloric objective after each 15 pounds of weight reduction. As you'll see, the objective drags lower and lower. There are numerous equations out there for deciding the amount you ought to eat to get in shape, yet here's a basic one dependent on the Catch-McArdle. 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. 1 gram of starch for each pound of body weight. 1 gram of fat for each 5 pounds of body weight. That straightforward macronutrient recipe will place you in a moderate caloric shortage and take into consideration consistent, sound weight reduction. To transform it into calories, just increase the protein and carbs by 4, and the fats by 9. 2. Control the concealed calories. Most weight reduction levels are brought about by just calorie creep, that is, eating a greater number of calories than you might suspect. This, joined with an ever-easing back digestion, is an ensured equation for stagnation. Calories can sneak in from numerous spots. Purposeless eating out at eateries, they load calories into dinners with spread, oil, sauces, and so forth. Trying too hard with fixings, and drinking liquor are for the most part regular approaches to add enough calories to slow down your weight reduction without causing you to feel like you're totally off your eating regimen. The dismal truth is an insignificant 200 to 300 calories such a large number of every day can totally end fat misfortune. To place this into point of view, that is just several bunches of nuts, a couple of tablespoons of greasy serving of mixed greens dressing, or a little sack of chips. Correct, fat misfortune is that finicky. It's not extremely confounded, yet it requires outright exactness. In this way, to defeat the calorie creep, you essentially need to know precisely what's going into your body each day. You can keep a food diary, or you can do what I do, compute what you need every day, separate it into day-by-day suppers, and eat something very similar consistently, every feast. I don't have the opportunity or persistence to work a lot of assortment into my eating regimen, so I grasp the straightforwardness of picking nutritious nourishments that I like, and eating them again and again. 3. Increment your cardio. In the event that you realize that your everyday caloric objective is acceptable and you have definitely no calorie creep, at that point you should build your cardio. You can include one more day if conceivable. I don't suggest over 4 days out of each week in case you're additionally weight preparing, or add time to every day. I like to add 10 minutes to every meeting and perceive how my body reacts. The thought is to simply tip the scales somewhat more toward fat misfortune and watch the outcomes. In the event that the first round of extra cardio doesn't do it, include increasingly an additional 10 minutes to every meeting, for example, and you'll arrive. Goodness, and do HIIT cardio. It would be ideal if you. 4. Grasp the cheat meal. That is correct. In all honesty, the cheat feast really causes you lose fat. How? All things considered, first there's the mental lift, which keeps you glad and inspired, which at last makes adhering to your eating routine simpler. But at the same time there's a physiological lift. Studies on overloading, the logical term for gorging on food, show that doing so can help your metabolic rate by somewhere in the range of 3 to 10%. While this sounds great, it really doesn't mean a lot of when you consider that you would need to eat in any place from 2 or 300 to 2 or 3,000 additional calories in a day to accomplish this impact. Increasingly significant are the impacts cheating has on a hormone called leptin, which manages hunger, your metabolic rate, craving, inspiration, and moxie, just as serving different capacities in your body. At the point when you're in a caloric deficiency and lose muscle to fat ratio, your leptin levels drop. This, thusly, makes your metabolic rate delayed down, your hunger to expand, your inspiration to fade, and your mindset to sharp. Then again, when you give your body more vitality, calories, than it needs, leptin levels are supported, which would then be able to effectively affect fat oxidation, thyroid action, disposition, and even testosterone levels. So if it's an expansion in leptin levels that you truly need, how would you best accomplish it? Eating sugars is the best way. Second to that is eating protein. High-protein dinners likewise raise your metabolic rate. Dietary fats aren't exceptionally successful at expanding leptin levels, and liquor really restrains it. In this way, if your weight is stuck and you're peevish and demotivated, a decent kick of leptin may be all you have to get the scales going once more. Have a pleasant cheat dinner loaded with protein and carbs, and appreciate the lift in your leptin levels. It can help your weight reduction. 5. Lift heavy weights. In case you're acquainted with any of my work, you know I'm a major devotee of lifting overwhelming loads. All things considered, among the numerous advantages of lifting substantial is the way that it assists speed with increasing fat misfortune. An examination distributed by Greek Games researchers found that men that prepared with substantial loads, 80 to 85% of their 1 rep max, or 1 RM, expanded their metabolic rates over the accompanying 3 days, consuming hundreds a bigger number of calories than the men that prepared with lighter loads, 45 to 65% of their 1 RM. So hit the loads and hit them hard on the off chance that you need to raise your metabolic rate and thus, accelerate your fat misfortune. What's more, on the off chance that you need to score additional focuses, center around compound lifts like squats and deadlifts, in light of the fact that these are the sorts that consume the most post-exercise calories. Have you at any point encountered a weight reduction level? Is it accurate to say that you were ready to get through? Assuming this is the case, what did you do? If you want to know more about how you can lose weight fast, click on the link in the description below this video.